he had to put hard labor. This labor work is seen, which Adam receives in the form of a curse from God. So all human beings suffer. All human beings will have to put maximum labor to meet the ends, and this labor can be taken as the sin. Another important thing is that why Crusoe for the first time sets up that cross. He writes something, he inscribes something on that cross. What is the reason behind that? So one of the way of interpretation is that he sets up that cross because that cross is the symbol of Christian faith, the faith of the God. In absence of faith, human beings cannot survive. So that cross becomes the symbol of faith in mankind. Even if man is alone, he must keep his faith in the God, and that faith will direct him to the gate of salvation. The third thing is that on that island, Crusoe is victimized by fever, and he happens to have a dream, hallucination. In his dream, an angelic spirit visits him and requests him and guides him that he should repent for his sins. So this can also be interpreted that when you are on the way of salvation, when you keep the heavenly light in your eyes and travel in the direction of the heavenly gate, no one can help you except the grace of the God, except the blessings of the God, and an angelic spirit comes onto the way and guides a human being. So this is a spiritual interpretation of Robinson Crusoe. One more thing is that the second half of the novel is entirely devoted to the labor work. So when we think about the labor work, we find that it is a celebration of dignity of labor. He is celebrating the dignity of labor. What is education? When a person trains his hands, heart and head, then only the purpose of the education is served. So when we take into consideration the opinions of Rousseau, one of the thinkers of the Victorian era, we can say that Crusoe hates bookish knowledge. Rousseau hates bookish knowledge. He says that books may train only brains, but books may not give any practical experience to the hands. So vocational education, the purpose of the education to train the hands won't be served. Crusoe learns in the school of his life. He learns how to prepare food, how to build up his own shelter, how to protect himself from the attack of cannibals and other animals, how to live with the birds and animals and surroundings. So this is what we can say one has to learn in the life. So life itself is a school, and when we say that island was an island where one do not find any other human being, he is completely cut off from the human touch. There is no other human being. So that isolation, that weariness of life compels Crusoe to run away from that island. So he prepares a huge boat and he tries to run away from that island. But because of the current of the waves, once again he was tossed to the island and the boat scatters into pieces. So this can be interpreted that when we try to run away from the loneliness of the life once again brings us in the same situation. Loneliness and suffering, these two are the lifelong companion of the human life. No one is exception. Even an animal cannot run away from that. And when it comes to the biblical reference of the Mahabharata, there also Mother Kunta asks Sri Krishna to give her sufferings in the form of blessings. When a person suffers, he remains quite near to God. In the time of abundant happiness, he is bound to forget. Another important interpretation of the text is that Crusoe finds that the life on the island is very rich. very wealthy. Why? Because there is nothing which we can say, nothing which can be compared with money. Money, paper money, e-money or coins were not invented on that island. So only that island was free from money and price mechanism. When money enters into human life, it destroys. As in one of the poems, George Herbert has said that for the first time, when we bring out a metal from the mine, the parental background of money is very base and low, and we bring out that metal from the mine, and we give it proper shape, we purify that metal and give them the shape. Afterwards, we transfer our authority by giving the stamp. Okay, so authority is transferred. We human beings give power to money, and unfortunately today that money becomes the master of the power. Those who are having infinite riches with them, they exercise the power. Power has become a tool in the hands. So when a person concentrates on the monitorial things, Herbert has said that a person falls in the same ditch from which money is brought out. So here we can bring Herbert, then Rousseau, then many other thinkers. So this island was free from hypocrisy, free from corruption, free from all evils, because money was not there. And when man invented money, he becomes slaves to money. One more important interpretation of the text is that how Crusoe behaves with Friday. At one point of time, we can say that Crusoe is the representative of the colonizers. He teaches only first word, and that is master. Why? What is the reason behind that? Because the moment it is said that if a little authority is thrown into the hands of a man, man behaves like a monkey. He starts playing tricks with the other. Because with power, that air of superiority automatically enters into the mind. And this is what Crusoe does. Crusoe teaches Friday only master, the word master, because he wants to identify himself as a master. And in one point of time in the novel, he says that I am the king of this island. The word king itself stands for the exercise of the power. So Crusoe wants to exercise his power on the other animals. Okay, of course he tames birds and animals. Up to this it was okay, but when he empowers the human beings, then we can say power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So in the same way, you can say Crusoe is the representative of colonizer on one hand. On the other hand, you can say the texts have both merits and demerits. On one hand, you can say Crusoe is the Renaissance spirit, because the way he embarks his journey, the way he cops up with the situation, prepares his own food, builds his own shelter, he gives a brave counter reply to the adversities of the life and learns a lot of things. On the other hand, he simply comes in front of the eyes of the readers as the colonizer. If we fumble the pages of the history up to long back 2000 years, what has happened? The colonizers have exploited the colonies, and this is what is represented in the form of Crusoe. Crusoe comes in front of us as a colonizer, and he tries to make Friday as his subject. So this is also one of the interpretations of the text. The text is just like a cabbage. If you remove the upper layer, another meaning will appear. If you remove the second one, third meaning will be appear. So it can be taken as a myth, it can be taken as an allegory, it can be taken as a semi-historical story, because the way Robinson Crusoe, Daniel Defoe describes Crusoe's life. What happens, everybody remembers Robinson Crusoe, nobody remembers Daniel Defoe. Just it has happened in the case of epic. Everybody remembers Adam, Eve and Saturn. Nobody remembers Milton. Everybody remembers Sri Krishna, Karna and any other. Nobody remembers the author of the text. So we can say that while creating the character of Robinson Crusoe, Daniel Defoe has taken him to the height of semi-historical hero. So Crusoe is the representative of the mankind, and as it is mentioned earlier, one important deficiency of the text is that it lacks the touch of human love. Ultimately, man needs the company of man. Okay, as Rabindranath Tagore has mentioned, that the entire universe is based on the 4 block letter, and they are LOVE. If you bring out these letters from the life will be turned into a heap of skeletons only. So it is imperative for the author also to bring the human touch. So up to this we have tried our level best to bring out the different meanings of the text, but the discussion is just like how Crusoe explores the land on the island. The discussion won't come to an end perhaps. And so friends, I think we have tried our level best to give you some thoughts on Robinson Crusoe. So I thank you all, the technical man of BISEC, the BISEC itself, and my fellow companion Macwan sir also. Thank you very much.
SANDHAN, All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.